Good afternoon, guys, and welcome back to another video. Hope you guys are all enjoying your Monday afternoon, first day of school of the week over. So I need to get all the way to Friday. So I hope you guys are all enjoying again your Monday, and we actually have a lot of new updates on now Hurricane Humberto. Yes, it is now a hurricane and now heading for Bermuda, which will bring a lot of threats. We do have a lot of new advisories, and we should have some more warnings coming in for the areas in the Atlantic. So we have a lot of new updates. It is a Category 1 and could pose a big threat for Bermuda again. We're going to have a lot of new updates that come with Bermuda. So if you know any friends or family that live in Bermuda or are on vacation in Bermuda, go ahead and share them the link of the video so they know what's to come for their area. So without further ado, let's get in the video. And before we get in the video, actually be sure to subscribe if you're new to the channel, do daily weather updates, and also if you have any comments, go ahead and leave them in the comments below, and I'll be free to be sure to answer those. So yeah, see you guys, and yeah. So we are going to be looking at the 5-day graphical tropical weather outlook right here. And again, we have this new system here, or it's actually not super new, but we had it yesterday. It's at a 70% chance for the next 48 hours. It was actually at a 10% chance, so it definitely went up, and now it's a 90% chance for the next 5 days. But we're not going to be talking about that in the video. Here again, we're going to be talking about Hurricane Humberto. It's actually the new advisory that came out this morning. It's at 80 knots. It's at 80 knots and 90 miles per hour. So again, this is Category 1. It's actually very, very close to actually reaching Category 2. And there's a possibility we could have it become a major hurricane within the next 48 hours before it hits possibly Bermuda with a Category 3 force winds, or maybe a little bit less. So again, here it is at 90 miles per hour. Definitely, it really has gained a lot of strength within the past couple hours within the warmer waters just north of the Bahamas. Again, if you guys are in the Bahamas, don't worry about it. It is still moving at 7 miles per hour, but now moving northeast, so not moving north anymore, starting to take that turn that was expected. Because you guys were probably wondering, oh, it's going to hit the North Carolina. But no, it's taking that turn here with that high pressure system. That will be affecting it. So again, it is now taking that east-northeast turn, and then very soon it'll be moving more just to the east, and then it could go east-northeast as it goes closer to Bermuda. And then the central pressure is at 972 millibars, so it actually really has gained a lot more organization. So now we're actually not going to be looking at this satellite imagery. I want to look at another one here if it actually pulls up. So I like this visible satellite imagery here. I just feel like it's a lot better than the other one here. For some reason, it automatically switches. It didn't used to be like that. So again, Humberto's actually very, very big for a Category 1 hurricane. It actually really is incredibly big. It's actually very, very big because it's one area of the storm. The northern part of the storm right here, it's bringing a whole lot of cloud cover. It's about half the size of Dorian's right here. This cloud cover north of the eye. That's where we are having a huge area of cloud cover. It's a huge band for sure. Here we have the center of Dorian. We actually have the eye. It's actually a lot more organized. I don't know, Dorian's got so organized within the past 2 days. It's actually very surprising. We have a lot of rotation in the center here, the eye wall. We are seeing these as every time it is rotating, it goes even more north. So again, that is how it is moving east-northeast, 7 miles per hour, continuing. Every time it rotates, the clouds go even more north. So they were here, and now they're over here. That's what's happening here. Again, the eye wall is the worst part of the storm. That's where you have those Category 1 force winds. That's where the people go to fly around to get details, and then they go back to the surrounding states there. We actually do have a very, very organized outer band. Extremely organized. I'm actually very surprised. Dorian, like super duper out of the way bands. This part of the storm actually is not too organized, but this part's actually very, very organized. It actually really does look like a circle there. We are starting to see these areas right here split up. Right here we are seeing a little split up there. So this band could be a lot farther away from the center, which could actually be a big factor. Maybe bringing in, if that happens, when it rotates, it actually could bring in a lot more heavy rain for the areas in North Carolina and Virginia. If that happens, again, very, very unlikely for that to happen. It looks like it could connect again. But again, Dorian is still moving, or it's not Dorian, Humberto is still moving at 7 miles per hour east-northeast. So now we looked at the satellite imagery. We're actually going to be looking at now the cone and timing, and this is where we have probably the most significant updates here. Actually, about two or three new updates that are actually a very, very big deal. So, the first thing that we have a big deal is that, again, we do possibly have a chance of it becoming a major hurricane. Maybe tomorrow we could have a major hurricane by later tomorrow or early Wednesday. And also, what a new update is, we have tropical storm watches for Bermuda. Again, if you guys are wondering, why don't they have hurricane watches or hurricane warnings, or not even tropical storm warnings? The reason is, look, Bermuda's actually almost out of the cone. So this is basically, the eyes could go like this. That's what it's saying. That's where the eyes could go. So again, Bermuda's actually half in, half out of the cone. So if you are in the northern part of Bermuda, you're in the cone. If you're in the southern part of Bermuda, you're not in the cone. And even if you're in northern Bermuda, you're still barely in the cone. So that's one of the biggest updates, the biggest factors, again, and it could possibly weaken back to Category 2 right before, if it even makes direct landfall. It could go just north. It can go, again, possibility of going just west of the island too. So that is a new update. So again, if you're in Bermuda, it's not as big of a threat right now as yesterday. And there also is a possibility it's a lot closer to Nova Scotia. Again, it could still bring in possibly tropical storm force winds for those areas, because Dorian really did affect all the way over here when it was over here. So yeah, it really could bring in a big factor of winds. And we have that small area right there with hurricane force winds. But again, we have the surrounding area, tropical storm force winds. It would definitely get a lot bigger though. And yeah, we could actually have it make landfall within Bermuda or around Bermuda, or go in the direction of Bermuda, very close to Bermuda, by possibly Wednesday, where we could have that if it makes landfall to Wednesday. But again, it's going to be passing Bermuda if it doesn't make landfall on Wednesday. Again, we can still have possibly Category 1 to maybe Category 2 force winds. Because again, there's a possibility it could be surrounding Bermuda as a Category 3. There's still a chance of that happening, and it looks like it takes a turn north, and then it goes back northeast, and it weakens to a tropical storm by Saturday. So by Thursday, really, Humberto won't be the topic to talk about, really. So here are the new tracks, and that actually is quite interesting what we're seeing right now. There's a possibility that it actually, the models right now actually change a little bit. There's a possibility now the models do show it going just west of the islands, and then actually going like this. So it's going to be just surrounding the island. It's going to be moving like to the northeast, and then take a turn north around the city, or in the island, and go back to its original path. So that is possibly an idea, is that Bermuda is the second Hawaii with that force field, so it's be dodging a very big and dangerous hurricane. Again, we still, Dorian or Bermuda, we still have those concrete buildings, but again, a Category 3 and a Category 2 can really cause storm surge, which will eventually flood those buildings. But again, there's still not a threat right now for Bermuda for direct landfall, but again, it could still having Category 1 force winds. And then we actually are seeing a couple models, the Hawaiian model, and I believe the COI, it's actually, the COLI. I couldn't see it because of the, when it was in. There are now two models showing maybe if going out of track and going like this, maybe to even New Nova Scotia, maybe even the New England area. But again, that's very unlikely to occur. And this is basically what the cone's going to be looking at based on this. So again, I really won't be surprised if Bermuda goes back, and all of Bermuda goes back in that cone. I really would not be surprised. So here we have the model intensity guidance. We're not going to be spending that much time here because, again, there's a possibility it gets a major hurricane for sure. So again, here we have it, 80 knots. It should become a Category 2 within the next 6 hours to at most 24 hours. Again, we still have those couple models that do so in Category 1 for the next 24 hours. When it becomes a Category 2, it's not going to be like just like this. It's not going to be like that. It's actually going to be the opposite. It looks like it could become a Category 3 within 12 hours, becoming a Category 2. So there's a very, very good chance of occurring to have a Category 3. We have about 5 to 7 models, and they're actually showing maybe even a strong Category 3, which will be even more of a threat for Bermuda. And again, usually it will get bigger and bigger and bigger, which will cause more and more widespread winds that are Category 2 or above. And then once it becomes a Category 3, it's just stop. We shouldn't see a Category 4 really, and by then it should start to weaken. It should weaken actually very, very slowly. Again, it's going to be getting some more water. It can be very, very slow process. We can actually have within all the way to the next 168 hours still a Category 1. So this is about 30% chance of that occurring. And then we have the other of 70% chance of it weakening a bit faster there. Now we're going to be looking at the radar, not the radar, the winds here in the European. The radar's next. So here again, here we have it at possibly strengthening within the next couple hours to 92 knots there. So definitely possibly getting to Category 2. And then look, we should see it getting to Category 3 at 124 knots. This is the point where we see a very, very strong Category 3. Again, here we have Bermuda right here. This is in the center of the circle. That's Bermuda, if you guys are wondering where it is. So if you see anything in here, that's where Bermuda is. We start to see it weakening right before getting close to Bermuda. So it goes from 119 to about 113. And then it actually strengthens right as it goes over Bermuda. And again, it's actually showing it Bermuda going straight through the eye wall, not the eye. So if you guys are wondering, I want to put a dot. That dot is where Bermuda is. That dot. It's going to go straight through the eye wall within 6 hours. It's on the opposite side of the hurricane within 6 hours. So that's actually how fast moving it is. 6 hours is the opposite side of the hurricane. So they go past that. It looks like the eye just goes north of Bermuda. It's actually a very, very close call. That's what it's looking like right there for Bermuda. So it's actually a very dangerous thing that could happen. And then again, we actually have it getting a lot closer to Nova Scotia. Again, I've been pointing out Nova Scotia since the beginning of this, that Nova Scotia would have to deal with some possibly tropical storm force winds, and that could occur. Again, guys, it is a very close call with this right now. And again, this just updated too. Again, this is just refreshed. As you can tell, it's still reloading. So here we have it within the next 6 hours. Not much of a change. Again, we do have it strengthen actually a lot tomorrow. Tomorrow's the big day when it strengthens all to 957 millibars. So the central pressure does go down. But again, we do have it actually weakening then right before it hits Bermuda. Bermuda's right here if you guys are wondering, because Bermuda's actually not that easy to see. There's Bermuda in the center. Let me actually just put a dot right there. On that black dot's in Bermuda. And then again, we had weakening just before 960, and then it looks like it even strengthens at 954, and then it wrecks the island. It looks like it really does go through the eye wall. And that whole dot's not Bermuda. Of course, Bermuda is a lot smaller, so that is a big factor that it possibly hits at 960 millibars. And again, by Friday and Saturday, it's not that big of a deal, because again, it possibly could just miss Nova Scotia, but again, bring in the tropical storm force winds. So guys, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please do not forget to like and subscribe, and bye guys.